Hi.
Nice.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say, man. Dang, it's one of the best movies.
But before, we were enemies. We were like brothers.
I love the camaraderie and the bromance between all of your guys' characters. I can sense it in this room. What was the secret behind creating it?
It is a miracle, the way that this chemistry has been built, given the fact that we were not in the same room with each other.
We hadn't even met.
We hadn't even met. And watching the movie, it's unbelievable.
We didn't even know what each other did as a professional.
I wasn't even. I was like, Bryan Tyree Henry.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like
they made a miracle.
Yeah.
It's really, and it's insane.
The script, I think, offered up the opportunity for all of us to, play a character that was fresh, unique, fun, but the characters complemented each other in a really fun way.
You need to move out of my way before I move you myself.
It's a pretty fundamental betrayal that goes on there, and I think like a lot of friendships, and it's part of things we get to explore if we're lucky enough to make another movie, is they probably will try again, and again, and I think relationships this strong, they don't just disappear. They sadly are like a constant wound that gets picked at, and so eventually it's much worse than it was originally when they fall out. So I'm looking forward to explore what it feels like in the next movie.
Phenomenal. Very lucky because not only are they great actors, but they're also great people.
Yeah.
And they're also amazing collaborators, and that's what I wanted. I want an actor to bring a real piece of themselves to the role, even though it's just a voice.
Yeah.
There is more than just doing a voice, So I talked a lot about the story with Chris, and so just great collaborators.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And this beautiful friendship, how are we going to make sure it doesn't go down the same road as Optimus Prime?
Restraining orders.
Oh,
Make them really nice and tight.
Court
appointed.
Yeah, we're all moving in with Chris. He's got acres of land. Acres.
Come over.
Nice.
Bunk beds.
What is with you and bunk beds? Nobody is sharing a bunk bed with you, Chris.
Yeah, you
Why
are.
can't we have our own bedrooms?
Because it gets scary in Australia.
That's
fair.
Then I definitely don't want to be on the top.
Critters and stuff.
This is true.
I want to help build a better world. Like you said, we can be so much more.
Maybe it's just me, but he's different.
Yeah, no, I picked up on that.
You've been asked thousands of questions in this press tour. What's one question you haven't been asked that you'd love to answer?
Have you been talking to our therapist? This was like somebody called and was like, you should ask him.
Anything you'd like.
Maybe it's boring.
Do it.
But I like process questions when people say,
Nice.
"What did you do technically to your voice to make?" I like those kind of questions. But then I realize I don't think the people who are watching Sky Cinema care. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, and then I thought about this. But those are to be honest with you, that's the kind of questions I want to be asked. But.
And talking about the process, was there any method acting in terms of becoming a Transformer?
Just for him.
Just
me.
Brian.
Just Brian.
Really angry at the
Plotting. I made sure my eyes were as red as possible when I came in. I don't know. It's really amazing when you do movies like this with animation because we're so apart.
Yeah.
But you have to hope and believe that at the end of the day, the ensemble, when you see it, and it's jumping off the screen the way it does, that we have the same vibration with each other.
Yeah.
And I'm just very fortunate to be able to do it with them. So it's really cool that we've made these friendships.
And how are you going to celebrate with the massive success of this film?
Oh my gosh.
We're moving in with Chris.
That's right.
He hasn't really given.
What did you say?
Everyone a set of bunk beds.
Set of bunk beds. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, we're just hanging out. It's been so fun.
It's been really fun. Yeah, the whole press has been great because once you get to meet and you have the good thing is the first conversation you got something in common. So you got something to talk about, and then it's been really wonderful.
So, how long do you think we'll be here?
I'm not talking to him. You know what? I can't believe you made me do that.
Thought you weren't talking to me.
I could feel all of your personalities in the character. I feel like you exuded it in such a good way. How much of each of you do you feel like is in your character?
It's like dressing up a Christmas tree. You can put all sorts of ornaments and whatever, but it's still a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Meaning there is always a big part of you in the performance. And even if you're playing something that may be a real stretch, and I'm not a serial killer and so on.
Right.
Like
You're not?
No, only on weekends.
Got it.
But you have to find ways to relate to what you're talking about, even if it in the context of it is otherworldly and very outside of the norm for you. You have to kind of ground it in, okay, well, you know, if I was, when I was 20-something years old, you know, discovering my way in the world and what was my opinion toward authority or being told what to do, or, you know, did I have bigger hopes and dreams and so on, and okay, now how does that work for the character? And look, and plenty of people I've worked with, that's not the case, and there's a real, you know, method kind of departure from who they are, but that's only for you.
I used an AI the whole time.
It's
I
new.
did. What
He's
are
actually
we
not even
doing?
here.
I'm not
Watch
even
this.
here.
Yeah.
He's a hologram. He's a
like-
hologram.
I think it's truly about just bringing yourself, period. Because, like, you know, we had the opportunity to go back to their youth. We hadn't heard this before. We hadn't seen this before. So it gave us a huge playground to play with originality and figuring out who we wanted them to be. And we got to mold them ourselves. And so, you know, there's a different level to this Transformers. We get to see them very young, very driven, not really knowing who they are on their home planet where it's just them, where they're not the ones who are different somewhere else. So it was really interesting to like kind of peel that onion back to really get to the core of who we thought they were.
And first word that comes to your mind, if I say Sky, you say?
Moore.
First, you say
Sky Moore. He's a football player. He's an American.
I was like, oh, okay.
Sky?
Yeah.
I say
Sky
Sky.
Moore.
Hi?
Nice.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say, man. Dang, it's one of the best movies. Sky
Walker.
Box.
Nice.
Yeah.
Skybox. I like Box.
Sky Box.
Nice. Amazing. Thanks.
I'm gonna change mine to Hook.
See, I just dropped in on
Yeah,
that.
well, yeah.
But you were struggling. I was like,
I wouldn't say it was a struggle. I was just like trying.
We were like,
Oh, wow. See, isn't it great to have friends that support?
See the camaraderie?
See why I said the restraining order? There you go.